Well, good afternoon everyone. I'm on my way to the Isle of Skye, and on the way through, passing through Glen Coe, so I've decided to stop. And I know it's a well visited site, but I've only ever been here once and taken the shots of Buchaille Etive Mor. Apologies if I've not pronounced that correctly, but I thought it's a good opportunity to miss. Weather's okay, it's a bit windy but it's not raining, so I thought it's an ideal opportunity. It's an obvious composition, it's obvious and a cliche for a reason, it's good, but I thought I'll give it a go. I've just walked further down the river, just had a quick look, and it does appear to be other images, other compositions to be had. Just got to negotiate all this mud. It looks from the ground, plenty of people have been here. I know they've had plenty of snow. Apologies if you can't hear me very well. Get closer to the river, only it's rather noisy. I think there's somebody else already down there already. I'll let him get his images and then I'll set up myself. So I'll see you in a minute. I don't know if you can see that clearly enough, or even if you can hear me. It looks quite dark on the back of the screen, but I think that'll be fine once I get back home in post-production. Okay, what I intend to do now is go and look for another composition further down the river. Well, I tried a different composition further down the river. I don't know if you can see behind me quite, but it's I got a nice composition. Unfortunately the rain's coming from that direction, and you can see probably by the rain spots on the lens. It's coming down this direction, and unfortunately I've left my umbrella in the car, foolishly, schoolboy error. I'll have to remember that. Now I might stay in Glen Coe and come back. This was just rather opportunistic, and I may come back at first light, or later on, or mid-morning, depending on the weather. I think what I'll do, probably make use of my time now. I'm going to stop here. Oops, my remote has just come out of my pocket. I will endeavour, I don't know what it is with this Osmo, but it keeps, front screen keeps going off. I will endeavour to look at some more compositions and actually come back and make use of my time by carrying out some useful wreckage of the area. Thankfully it's not thick snow everywhere, but it's got snow on the mountains, which makes more ideal for your composition. Makes it a little bit more interesting. But I will catch up with you later. Well, I've moved further along the river. Got a little bit closer. I wanted the bridge to be more dominant in the image. You can see behind me, I think, which way are we going? Is it that way? Yeah, I wanted the bridge to be a little bit more dominant. Unfortunately, what's happened now is I've lost the light. There's absolutely no light whatsoever. It's actually got all under cloud. I've probably had about 10 minutes of sunlight. The clouds come down. Did look so, a little bit of rain, a little bit of sleet. May have to wait a little bit. Well, I'm not sure if I like this composition. It looks fine to the naked eye, probably because I'm slightly higher and I've got this nice S-curve or bends in the river, drawing you in, taking you to the bridge and then up to the mountain. It doesn't look balanced. I've got the copse to my left, but on the right hand side I've just got all this dead grass and what looks like heather. If it was in bloom, it would probably look a little bit different, but there's nothing there, so it doesn't quite look balanced. So I think what I might do is while the light's the way it is, I might take a further walk along the river to see what I can see. Although there's cars going across the bridge now, they've all got the lights on because of the weather. That might make it
bit of interest. I'll create a bit of interest in the images of going across the bridge with a bit of light trails. I'd need traffic going either way, so I'll get the white and the red light together. We'll see. I'll give it 5 more minutes and then I think I'll probably move. Well, I've had to admit defeat on this one for the time being. The light is just awful. There's just no contrast whatsoever. I've tried a few things, different filters and one thing or another, and it's not appeared to work. So I think at this time there's only one other thing that I can do, and that is have a cheeky coffee. I think I'll admit defeat for half an hour. I'll have a coffee, something to eat, and then, let's just try to negotiate this block. Then what I'll do is I'll make my way further along the river. There's some waterfalls further along, I think, and I will see if there's anything to be had from there. So I will see you for a minute. Catch you on the way there. Apologies if you can't hear me over the water. It is rather noisy just here. Just so you can see, I'm on just over a second at f16. Focused on affinity. Using a 16 to 35mm f4 lens. I've got the 6 stopper on, just to give it a little bit of motion blur in the water, and I'm on a 2-second timer. Let's have a look. That looks absolutely fabulous. A couple of highlights maybe blown out. I'm going to reduce it to a second. Try again. Okay, let's have a look. That looks absolutely perfect. The conditions now, I'm glad I stayed, are getting a lot better. Now that the sun's breaking through, I don't know if you can see behind me, the sun's trying to break through, which is good for me. I'm going to take around this way, you can see, and then I'm going to take you around 360 to make sure I don't fall over. You can see the effect it's having on behind me. It's just lighting up the buckle and the surrounding mountains. Don't know if you can quite see that. Might be a little bit too dark, but that's what we're looking at. I hope you can hear me okay. The force of this water is unreal. I've actually moved around quite a bit. I didn't like the composition. I couldn't get it balanced between the waterfalls behind me and actually the mountain ranges behind me. Little tweaks. Show you where I've moved to. I could turn this around. Angle adjacent to the waterfalls, which actually now is sort of slightly off centre, but the water leads you into the middle of these two mountains, which gives it more balance. Whereas before, I had them to one side and it didn't look balanced. So I'm much happier with it now. Well, I'm still tempted to walk up River Coupall and see if I can get panoramic shot. Over here, it's incredibly windy, so I decided against it. I don't think I'll be able to hold the tripod steady when I'm at the top, so I've decided to make my way and take a photograph of the hut. I think the river in front of it is a Glen Etive, I think. It's a nice little bridge down by here. You can hear the traffic going behind me. It's on the main road, it's just off the A82. I think it's like a walking hut, but it sits at the bottom of Buchaille Etive Mor. So I will endeavour to catch it, create an image as best I can. Now, the sun is sort of late morning, the sun's on the other side. In fact, I just got to negotiate this bog. The sun will light up this side, so it's in the shade, so it's not ideal. Possibly image, I don't know, but I just turn around and you can see where I'm talking about, just over my shoulder I think it is there. That's what I'm thinking of taking. I'm just going to have a look. I will found a high point just to my right. The ground's incredibly boggy. Make my way over to this mound and get set up, so I'll see you there. Well, so I've come to the side of this mound here, just behind me, just for some shelter from the wind, because the wind's quite strong. I don't want it knocking the tripod. Even so, I'm still having to use quite high shutter speeds. I've been bracketing from a 60th of a second all the way up to a 300th of a second, just so I don't burn the sky out. I'm not using any filters. I'm still using the 16 to 35mm lens. What's to say, 60th of a second up, oh, the camera's going, 60th of a second upwards, f22, ISO 100. Quite contrasting. I can see this one being a black and white. I hope you like it. I'll put it up now.